Hi, it's Teddy Burriss. It's 2:30 Eastern Standard Time in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. I'm Teddy Burriss. I'm your LinkedIn trainer, coach, consultant, social media strategist, author, publisher, public speaker. I love this tool called LinkedIn. I love using it in a very deliberate and purposeful manner. I love using it to create connections, build relationships, find opportunities, build my reputation online. And my goal, the thing that I strive to do every day is to teach somebody else how to use this business tool the right way. And that's why I'm hosting this 30-minute LinkedIn Q&A every Wednesday from 2:30 Eastern Standard Time to 3 p.m. Thank you for joining us here. I want to, my focus of this 30-minute LinkedIn Q&A is to take your questions and answer them so that we can help you and help others who are on this Blab session and or will listen to the recording that I've already started that I share through my WordPress site and through my own social media sites, including Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, etc. So again, I'm Teddy Burriss. It's 2:30 Eastern Standard Time, and thank you very much for joining us for this Blab session. I love anybody who's out there. If you're watching or subscribed or listening, please hit the tell a little bird button and tweet this out and share it with your network so that it can be found, and maybe we can get other people who would want to join this session for 30 minutes just to ask the question that can help them become more successful, more productive, and create better opportunities using LinkedIn because they learn how to do it better. So if you'd be so kind, go ahead and share that away, and let your friends know that you're on this Blab session now. So again, feel free to ask any question you have. Jump in if you want to ask your question in the message stream. Just use the /Q. If you use the /Q, it'll pop up the questions for me on my question window, which is right over here. You're chatting over here. Question stuff's over here. But meanwhile, while I'm waiting for you to think of the questions you want to ask, then I'm going to go ahead and share an update for you, let you know about a change that LinkedIn recently made. The change was LinkedIn made a major adjustment in the default LinkedIn public profile URL. There was a change in the default LinkedIn public profile URL. And for the longest time, that profile URL was went along to some lines of something like this: linkedin.com/pub, P-U-B for public, /your name, usually with a dot in the middle of it, /some numbers, /some letters, /some more numbers. LinkedIn made a change recently to the default public URL, and it is now linkedin.com/in/your name dot your last name, first name dot your last name. And why is this important? Some people will ask. Let me explain to you why it's important. First of all, you shouldn't rely on the default public URL. You should customize your LinkedIn public profile URL so that it's branded appropriately, so that you can share it. It's easier to share. Mine's very simple. I can remember it off the top of my head because I do it day in and day out. And share it with you here right now. If I learn how to type, LinkedIn.com/IN/TL Burriss. I shared the video that I created about this, and I share with you my customized LinkedIn profile. And the question is, why is it important? The reason why it's important to pay attention to this change to the public profile default URL is that, first of all, those of us who are researchers on LinkedIn, who are looking for people and trying to make connections and find people who play in the spaces that we want to play in, we don't just search in LinkedIn. We search outside of LinkedIn. We use Google search. And when we do a Google search, we'll tell Google in our search string to search site linkedin.com/pub or linkedin.com/in. So that's change, that will change the way we do our power searches in Google. The other reason why this is important is that you may very well have shared your LinkedIn public URL on your business card, in your email signature, on your website. You may have shared it on your resume. And so if you were using the default public URL, then now there's a change in that. There's a new one, which again is a little bit simpler, a little bit cleaner, but it's not completely customized. So what's happening, fortunately for all of us, LinkedIn made a statement yesterday in a message I sent to them, and they said they're not going to delete all of the old default public URLs. They're going to leave them out there, but they're going to start creating the new ones in the other format, which again, it's irrelevant what the format is. The bottom line is the format's changed, and you need to pay attention to that, especially if you're doing research on LinkedIn and you're using Google search in the LinkedIn folders or LinkedIn file system or throughout the site. But additionally, I really encourage everybody who uses LinkedIn for business or uses LinkedIn for any purpose to customize your public URL in LinkedIn so that you know exactly what it is and it represents you in a very deliberate way. And again, mine's linkedin.com/in/TL Burriss. And the reason why I did that is a very deliberate branding practice. Everything, for the most part, where I could, and there's only a few places I couldn't, all of my social media sites, my email, my Twitter handle, my Pinterest handle, et cetera, it's all TL Burriss. I was really fortunate that I was smart enough to decide that I wanted to use the handle TL Burriss on everything that I do on social media. And it really has played well for me. So if you haven't taken a look at the changes in the default public URL for LinkedIn, I encourage you to do it. And more importantly, if you have not customized your LinkedIn public URL, I really encourage you to customize your LinkedIn public profile URL so that you brand it the way you want to brand it. And one more point about that. Don't brand your LinkedIn public profile URL or any of your social media, in my opinion. Don't brand it for what you do. Brand it for who you are, because you may change what you do in the future. And so often I get people who will take and put the company name in their profile URL with their name or their initials. And that's okay if you own the company and that's what you're doing forever. But if you're just an employee, excuse me, I apologize, I said that wrong. If you are an employee of that company and it is possible that you may not be an employee one day, don't brand your social media with the company ID. Brand it with your personal ID. So let's say Todd says, what's going on with groups? I manage several, yet I find that I can't search for members of the group. Interesting, Todd. I've heard that recently from somebody else, that the search button, when you click on, so Todd, jump in here for a minute, Todd. Let's talk about this for a minute. Oh, I'm gonna unlock that. Jump in. I want to get you to share your perspective on that.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about this specifically, Todd, because somebody else has told me that recently and I haven't seen it happen. So you're telling me that you go to a LinkedIn group and you click on members. It used to have a search box on the top of them in the members listing. Is the search box gone?
Search box is there, and I put in, clicked on, again, I'm a member of the group, and in fact, I'm one of the managers of it. And I put the person's name that I want to find. It was a new person that we just took into the group. It's a closed group, but I found the person. I thought she was interesting, and I wanted to connect with her. And I wanted to find her and send her a message through the system. When I clicked search, it gave me the search box. I couldn't pull up her name, first name or last name. And then I said, well, that's very odd. Maybe the system hasn't added her yet. And then I put my name in, first name and last name, and got nobody. And we've got over 8,000 people in the group. So I'm finding it a little odd that nobody came back on a suggestion.
Todd, I'm in one of my groups. Can you hear me clearly, Todd?
Yes, sir.
I'm in one of my groups right now. And let me go into one of my big groups. So I go into one of my big groups. See, I'm a member of ATD. I'm going to go to ATD International, and I think they have 90,000 members. No, it's not the ATD. Well, I'm in a group that has 4,600 members. Can't remember which one has the 90. So go to the 4,600 members. It's a closed group. I click on the members. I clicked on the 4,653 members, and I'm going to type in Lisa. I'm just typing in Lisa and hit search.
Yeah.
So I have 28 people named Lisa, and I see all their names. I see their last names, et cetera, et cetera. And what I don't see is my I
can't answer that. I don't think so. That's Charles' question.
So I'm sorry, I lost. You back? So yeah, Todd, I went to some of my groups. I had the search box. I can type in names and see something. I would encourage you to send a message to LinkedIn, Todd. Something's broke.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not.
I'll do that.
Yeah. I would send a message to LinkedIn and see what you get. I really would, and let me know. I'd love to hear what you get out of that, because I think that that's a broken, something broken in groups.
Okay.
So
I'll
cool.
take it to their help desk or help center or whatever.
Yeah. Let me give you a piece of advice about dealing with LinkedIn help, Todd. Submit your help. You're going to get an email back, and you're going to look at the email and go, "This is bull crap. They didn't hear what I said." Is that fair? Is that usually what happens?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. So what I do is respond to the email. I do not go back into the help service. I respond to the email, and I almost always get a response when I respond to the email. And then I start almost a fairly immediate dialogue. So try that.
Okay. Yeah. In fact, I just tried it into the same group that I had a problem with yesterday, and it seemed to work great. Now it's like, what are they doing? Taking a rest or what? So, all right, I will give LinkedIn that, because it looks to me as if
it's fixed.
It's working now. So for today, it's all right. I should have checked before I asked the question, but
all good. I just fixed it for you, Todd. I just did a laying of the hands, and you're welcome.
Thank you, Teddy. I appreciate it, buddy. Cool. You're all right with me.
Good chat with you, buddy. So good stuff. So good. Well, here's what we're doing here. This is 30 minutes worth of Q&A. It's all about answering questions about how can you use LinkedIn to create value, how you can use LinkedIn to drive your business, how you can LinkedIn based on whatever your purpose and your goal is. So Linda, thanks for joining us. If you have a question, use the chat box, send a message, start with a /Q. And when you use the, if you bring up any question, I'll be glad to answer it for you. If I don't have an answer, I'll do what I do best, which is reach out and find somebody who does have an answer. This is all about answering questions to help people get value out of using LinkedIn as a business tool. So I've been using LinkedIn since, I started using it in 2005, made a big mistake and deleted my profile in 2005, created another one in 2008. I've been using it pretty deliberately since 2008. I love this business tool. I love the network that I'm able to create, the people I'm able to meet, the ideas I'm able to learn. It really is a very productive tool for me. So, I discovered that the best way to learn how to use LinkedIn is to ask questions. And again, I've been asking questions since 2008. So now, because I think I know a little bit about it, I don't know everything, I decided I want to start answering questions, which is why I created the business that I have. which is very deliberately focused on, again, teaching individuals how to master LinkedIn as a business tool based on their purpose and their goal. And all of our purposes could very well be different. All of our goals could be could be different, and that's okay. It's still a business tool that we can use to achieve our goals. I often use the analogy that, no matter what we're doing in life, we use a telephone. No matter what we're doing in life, we use email. No matter what we were doing in life, we were using the telegraph, fax machines. And so now I say, no matter what we're doing in life, we can use LinkedIn. So Linda, I've been on LinkedIn for quite a few years and have 7,000 connections. Whoa, that's a big number, Linda. Believe it or not, I'm not utilizing this tool at all, probably due to not understanding it. Linda, absolutely. If I go, let's put Linda on Linda Chappelle. Let me go look for her on LinkedIn. Linda Chappelle, go to LinkedIn, hit search, drop out the L. There she is, John Hart Real Estate. I look at your, do my little search. You got 7,417 connections, Linda. You have no activity, and you have lots of content. It talks about who I am. Lots of skills. You've got all 50 skills. No interest. No advice for contacting me. Yeah, I mean, you got a nice looking profile. I think there's some stuff that you could do to get value out of it. But you have to determine what is it you're trying to do, Linda, to get value. Linda, would you mind jumping in? I would love to have a conversation with you with why you have 7,000 connections. Would you mind sharing that conversation? Jump in the open seat and chat with me about it a little bit. I'd love to hear your opinion. Oh, you can't get in? So here's my point. I have lots of people who have very large networks on LinkedIn, and they don't know how they're getting value from it, or more importantly, they're not getting value from it. And I think it's really a big mistake to build a gigantic network on LinkedIn with not knowing your purpose and not knowing what you're trying to achieve. And for me, that's just collecting business cards. And I have a very large network. It rivals Linda's 7,000, but I know who they are. They know who I am. I've had conversations with them, and I can reach out to pretty much any one of them and ask them a question anytime I want. And that's just a very simple perspective of how I use that network that I have. And so I really want to counsel people to be very careful not to just build a massive network on LinkedIn without knowing your purpose and your goal and how are you going to use that big network. And probably more importantly, and here's something that many people don't think about, how are you going to help that network? That is probably the most important piece about growing a large, meaningful network on LinkedIn, is how are you going to help them? It's not how am I going to get money from them? How am I going to help them? And that's important to me, and it's important to my growth of my business for me to focus on that. So anyway, Linda, I'd love to chat with you one time if you want. Send me a LinkedIn invite, Linda, and the purpose of you sending me an invite is for you and I to say hi and talk one day. I'd love to hear about your network and how you get value from it and how it works for you. Thanks a lot. So again, Teddy Burriss, LinkedIn coach and consultant, trainer, all about helping people get the greatest value they can out of using LinkedIn. Stephen, thanks for joining us. Let's see, Stephen Q. Shannon. Like that profile shot, dude. That's pretty good. Pretty good. Former Sandlot polo player. Gone legit. Charting a career is not about finding a job. It's about building a network. Absolutely. Fast Company magazine, no gratuities, please. So I like that. I like your banner picture on your Twitter account with you and the lady in bright orange. Looks like it was a Halloween picture. So cool stuff. Good to meet you, Stephen. Thanks for joining us here. So anyway, this is my goal of this. I got 10 minutes left. If you have a question that you want to ask about how to master LinkedIn, feel free to ask any question. I'll be glad to answer it if I can. If I can't answer it, I will promise you I will get the answer and share it with you. Stephen, yeah, you're at your spouse in front. Absolutely. I headline my wife when it's important for me to headline my wife. So I'm with you. And she's a vital part of my business / life. So again, if I can help you out in any way, any question you have, feel free to ask it. Yeah, Linda, let's find time to chat. Absolutely. I will respond to your invite. And if you have a phone number or an email address, you will hear from me. So how do you motivate folks to optimize their profile? Great question, Stephen. Great question. Here's how I motivate people to do anything. I find out what is it that they're trying to do. Again, purpose and goal. Try to find out what is it that they're trying to do. And then I figure out if what am I trying to motivate them to do, will it help them in their goal? And so because I truly believe LinkedIn is a business tool that can help us in life, I find out what that person is trying to do in life or what that company is trying to do. And then I bring LinkedIn where appropriate, where relevant. I bring LinkedIn profiles, LinkedIn network, LinkedIn reputations into the conversation. And I talk with them about here's how LinkedIn, profile, network, or reputation. Here's how these 3 areas of LinkedIn can help you achieve your goals. If it can. And I can't say that it always does, but I believe that often it can. And so to answer your question, Steve, I try to figure out what is their purpose and their goal, what are they trying to achieve, and then I bring LinkedIn profile, network, reputation into context in regards to their goal. Great question. Thank you for asking me that. I really appreciate it. Well, why do you ask that question, Stephen? If you want, Stephen, jump into the conversation. I'd love to have you share your insight as to why you asked that question. Click on the open seat, and we'll let you, ask it straight up.
Howdy.
Stephen, how you doing, sir?
Just fine. I hope you can hear the sound all right. I don't have a headset on at this moment.
Absolutely clear. I don't hear an echo. It's all good. How's your morning?
First rate. I'm vertical. Step
1, Get up out of bed. So why do you ask that question, Stephen, about how do you motivate folks to optimize their profile?
I'm come to you with 24 years experience in working one-on-one with more than 4,000 professionals who want to make more money where they're working now or make more money working for themselves or somebody else. Now, they're professionals, usually under 50. Now I'm doing pro bono work for people over 50 and above. Mm-hmm. And maybe it's me, the attractor factor in reverse. I had a tendency to attract, first of all, believers, and next of all, individuals who, especially women, who don't want to bring a lot of attention to themselves or are semi-private. I mean, I can think that I got involved in LinkedIn in 2007 when there were approximately 21 million members. That's my recollection. And the only reason I got involved is that a professional who's from Pratt Whitney Rocketdyne or Pratt Whitney Space Propulsion, an electrical engineer where a lot of mechanical engineers hang out, and he was afraid of LinkedIn. I mean, this is 2007. He thought it reminded him of running nude down Main Street.
And your problem with that is what?
Well, he was no, it's a male. I'm not into guys. Sorry, just kidding. Great, well done.
Well, let me answer your question. Let me answer the question about people's fear.
Yeah.
People's fear of being what I refer to as publicly present. Their fear of being publicly present is that they don't understand the reward. All they have is the fear. And when you can get your hands wrapped a little bit around the reward of being publicly present, then you're willing to take the shirt off when you run down Main Street. You're willing to be a little bit more vulnerable. You're willing to be a little bit more approachable. You're willing to be, peel the layers back and let Stephen know who Teddy is. And I'm not scared of being publicly present at all. Now I know that not everybody's going to be like you and me, dude. Okay, but I do know.
Yeah, I'm a former broadcast suit. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so I had a conversation with 77 women of influence, women who run large organizations, and the conversation was titled this: Women of Influence must be publicly present. And it's all about the concept that if you put yourself out there a little bit, if you become a little bit vulnerable, a little bit approachable, and so that people get to know a little bit about who you are and what you do, two things that can happen, two big things that can happen. Number one, you might find an idea, an opportunity, a perspective that you never imagined would happen. Number two, you might help somebody in a meaningful way that you had no idea you could help them, and you could change someone's life. Now, that's a very big answer for why you need to be publicly present. And you don't need to be like you and me, but people need to be a little bit vulnerable, a little bit accessible. What do you think?
Feedback. You're saying appeal to their natural instinct, assuming they're not criminals, or even criminals, I think, give things away, but appeal to their giving nature, that they indeed want to help people, reach out, as I do. I mean, and apparently as you do too. You're volunteering right this minute. So am I. And in fact, I've converted, so to speak, or transformed from monetization, because I've done it for 24 years. Now I'm looking to replace me, which is another subject entirely. But I just think that I'm still am. I am in awe of social networking, and especially, and I don't like that term too much. You'll just say social media, and I don't like that too well either. But you know what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. Is that especially LinkedIn? I mean, from day one, it had a terrific influence, and it's growing. And you notice their stock price does not drop below $100. I don't know what it is today. I don't care, because I'm not but yeah. They came in at that amount. I was singular, and I consider myself pretty good about self-marketing and marketing. I mean, I love Seth Godin. I followed him before it was fashionable back in the early 90s. I believe in handwritten thank you notes to people. I still think you should do that in certain situations. I think you set yourself apart. A quick example, I'm doing it. I was just in a moment ago, I was putting some stamps on Thanksgiving cards, because you have very little competition with Thanksgiving cards. And what do you get, especially if they're comical about the turkey changing the menu to ham, So if you send out a Thanksgiving Day card, people have a tendency to remember it, and it doesn't get lost in the holiday thing. So I think I've got the right attitude about it, and I am a giving person. But I was been one of my gaps of not being successful in saying, embrace. You don't have to be on Twitter. You don't have to be Snapchat, up your chat, down your chat. But LinkedIn is a profession. You think of yourself as a professional. I would say to the person, yes, I do. So I try to, I remember a boss saying, Steve, we've done everything but ask. I try to ask good questions. They don't ask me many questions. So I said, well, I'll ask you questions very much along the line, not as well as you did. And I hope you're a writer as well, because you speak as if you know what free writing is all about. And I presume you're also a touch typist as well. I'm just sizing you up in that regard. You have a love for words. Great is the wonder. Oh, a Hutton Peck. Okay.
No, I'm joking. But Stephen, I am an author. I had 2 books published on networking. One's called Networking for Mutual Benefit.
There we go.
And that's all about in real life networking. You don't have permission to ask, or do you have permission to ask? Can't ask for anything that doesn't exist. A great book that really is a core to my life.
Thank you.
Notice those words, core to my life. And the second book I published, Stephen, is called Success Using Social Media. And so your question you asked me is, you said, why do we have a hard time motivating people to not only optimize their profile, but make their profile very clearly say, I'm Stephen, and this is what I do. And it's because people don't understand. They don't understand the value of being publicly present, and they don't understand the value of being clear and concise.
I love the term publicly present.
You got that from Teddy Burriss. Remember that.
Okay, well, I'm going to attribute. I'm an attributor. When I quote people, I reach out and give, attribution, especially if you do it like on Twitter, you put @ then he was aware of it. I'm a big fan of a relatively new fan, a virtual fan of Ted Rubin and his books. And I use a Kindle because I've had a full cornea transplant in the right eye, and we're not doing the left eye, at least not right away.
Yeah.
So as a result, I need the bigger letter.
Yeah, I'm with you. So well, good stuff. So Steve, thank you. I appreciate you jumping in and asking that question. It really, that's an important question to answer. I hope it made sense to you and others listening to it. If we're not willing to jump out and just be a little bit vulnerable, present ourselves a little bit, be accessible, and tell our story in a very simple way. And by the way, if you look at my LinkedIn profile, it's not simple. It's very deliberate, very to the point, and I have a purpose in doing that. But not everybody needs to do that, but we do need to figure out how to motivate ourselves to be a little better, a little different. And thank you for asking that question. So cool. So I'm Teddy Burriss. I'm your LinkedIn coach and trainer, consultant, public speaker. I'm all about helping the world, whoever the world is, to get more value out of using LinkedIn as a business tool. I appreciate the opportunity to talk with you today. It's 3:02. I'm going to record this Blab session. You'll find it on my YouTube channel. You'll probably find it on my blog. If I can help you in any way, please reach out to me. Again, I'm Teddy. Thanks for your time.